Welcome to Coffee with Joy. I'm your favorite host, Joy. So excited to have you all here. I'm so excited for season 4. Yes. We're back in the building. We're back. Had a great break and some great news I'll share towards the end about Coffee with Joy. But I'm so excited to be back for season 4 as we'll have so many great guests, so many great conversations, so many great things that has happened. Oh my God. Especially with the orange regime, especially with politics. And, of course, we're talking about dating, finances. We're talking about, new living. It's so many various topics that I think that we do not touch. But this season, we're going to touch them and hopefully we can dive into them. And please make sure that if you see there's a topic that you would like for us to express on Coffee with Joy, please do share in our DM, email, or even website. We look forward to hearing you. So after these messages, we're going to bring my guest Jackie as we talk about just for laugh. You ever just want to laugh? When life is just going left to right, you just need to pause and sometimes laugh. It's therapeutic, it's medication, and it's just get us over that hump. Sometimes, hey, it's biblical, right? So we're going to have my guest Jackie as we talk about just for laughs. How did she get into it? What's the round? What's the next step? And so forth. So stay tuned. We're going to have my guest Jackie. Advertise your business on our podcast. Connect with us, the Coffee with Joy Talk Show podcast, and let's grow together. Email us and we welcome back to the Coffee with Joy. I'm gonna bring my guest Jackie on. Hey Jay, how are you?
Yeah, how are you? Ain't nothing better than a good cup of coffee, and that seems to be you, huh? Come on, Joy.
Coffee is it. If
It is.
I say second the best from water. But hey,
Oh,
I'm
I
still big to
appreciate that.
differ. Still back to
I'm
differ.
with you.
So again, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Joy, Jackie. So before we jump right in, can you tell people a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to jump right into our conversation.
Well, I'm a country girl from Arkansas. I'm just in the DMV area. Retired military. So when I retired from Fort Eustis, I stayed here in this area. I fell in love with it. I said, you know what? I'm not going back to Arkansas. I've been there since I was 17, so I stayed here. And then when I got here, I realized not only did I just didn't fall in love with the city, I fell in love with a different part of personality within myself, right? And as I got older, I realized I had something called Tourette's, but somehow people think it's me being funny. That's just me being honest.
Yeah.
And so that leads me to tell you that's how I guess people say I become funny, but all I do is speak the truth. I've always felt like I was a class clown. My mom said I always been funny. But before that, I did do music. I
Mhm.
did music. I wrote an album. I did gospel. Then I realized I don't think God want me to remix his gospel songs with cuss words. So I'm better come on up out of there, right? So someone saw me and my manager, she said, won't you do hosting and comedy? So I started opening for various artists from Fantasia, Tank to Genuine. And that is how I start to get into just being funny. I never thought I was funny. I just think I just speak the truth and it just comes out that way.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I know, just speaking the truth. So with this comedy spell, we know the whole arena is flooded with male, right?
Yes.
It's like, and I'm just using a blanket number. It's
Mm-hmm.
like 100 men to every woman that is a comedian. And
Right.
just to hear women, I heard some great women, and I wish there was just more women in this industry, but it's not as much. But you being in this industry, how did you find your footing, and how are you continue to prove your point to be in this industry?
You just gotta have tough skin. And a lot of women, they're scared to actually just jump out there and be themselves because the first thing you do with anything, I'm pretty sure it happened to you. And when you're trying to be creative, when you want to do something different, you're gonna have people that are gonna criticize you. But those are your motivators. Those are the ones that intrigue you to do better. So if you think of people that you idolize and that you consider your legends, for instance, Beyonce, I'm pretty sure she wasn't always likable. They probably called her bald headed back in the day. But now she can wear all the weed she wants. She no longer bald headed. You get what I'm saying? So it sometimes it takes you just to step out on faith. And
Mm,
once you step out on faith, no matter what the naysayers say, no matter what nobody says, if one person finds you funny, you reached your audience. If
mm,
one person finds that you should be in the creative field, then you do it. And that's why you're here, because you touched an audience that needed you to bring a different side that we always see in the male side, but now we get to see the women's side of things. And that alone is what's going to continue to encourage other beautiful women, especially our Black women, to step into into a field that they never had the opportunity to step in. And social media will allow you to do just that. So that's what did it for me. And so I just look at what we're going through today, and I just hope more women just speak out, whether it's through their beauty, whether it's through comedy, whether it's through selling products. Just be you, because it's time. It's men are out there. Let's women. Let's go ahead and tell it's taking over the forefront. Most
And you,
definitely.
and you made a vital point, and that's something that needs to be said, with social media, you know, and I'm not saying that people don't have their manager or their marketing company, their PR, but I
Mhm.
just feel as though God gave you the tools, so utilize what you have. And if you
Correct.
find yourself to really be in that industry, you utilize what you have. And if you have a social media, an account of various ones, utilize it to your T. We've seen it time and time again where
Mm-hmm.
people erupt out of nowhere, become, for lack of saying, one hit wonders. But if
Mm-hmm.
they really leverage it, they could really go further, right? Knowing that I
Right.
didn't have to go through a company, not to say I didn't want to, because you know that it costs, but sometimes
Correct.
God had other doors. When man say
Mm-hmm.
this, God says another way. So
That's
I
right.
think that is just a primary thing where people just really take what they have and utilize it. God could bless the little that you have and move forward. So that is something kudos definitely to be said, because having social media is, you use it for your good. Let me say that. You use it for your good, because we know it has its ups and downs, but you use it for your good. Now,
That's
in
right.
this mix of, making people laugh, what is something that you drive on? Like some comedians, I guess they talk from their lives, right? They
Mm-hmm.
really try to, like, not to name a few, not to name anyone, but I know one particular comedian, he talked about being, in jail, and there's a community for that. Even
Mm-hmm.
though I don't want to say niche, but it's like
Right.
sometimes you find yourself gearing in that because people come after. Now, is there anything particular that you bring laughter to, that people really gravitate to,
I
and do
think
you enjoy doing that?
I think people more gravitate to me doing reactions. I have so many videos that people send to me to react to, right? And one video I wasn't going to do, it ended up being very popular. This young lady said, he deposed to me, right? So I took that and I did it. I took one hit and it just went off. Snoop Dogg, he actually showed it, and then all of a sudden I was had 30,000 followers on Facebook and 15,000 on Instagram, and it just took off. So me, I just see a video. If I like it, I'll do it. I try what I do also in my funny, I try not to be hurtful, because in the same time we want to be funny, but you never know what somebody's going through.
Yeah.
So at the same time, I'm funny with it, but I'm not to where I'm gonna hurt your feelings or anything like that. So that kept me going. Another thing that keeps me going is swoop bang, aka that's Trump. I really wish I can do a video to get the swoop bang and let him know, since he's signing all these executive order, can he sign an executive order to keep Krispy Kreme open? Because it's like playing rock paper scissors trying to get the hot sign to come on. I mean, if he gonna sign something, let's sign something that's gonna
Right.
benefit the people. I'm just keeping it real. But and also might should also get a brand deal for all this makeup he been wearing on his hand. I just think Maybelline can actually make some money off that. But the way we just generally talking like this, that is your humor.
Yeah.
If we take humor and replace it with anger, a
Mm.
lot of stuff that we see would not happen. I find anything that people do funny. If you could be yelling at me and cussing at me inside, I'm laughing because girl, why are
Yeah.
you wasting your energy? Because
Yeah.
I'm paying you no mind, right? So that would pushes me. So I look for any video that can encourage somebody, make them laugh, but also not hurt feelings. Because in this day and time, a lot of people are going through things and they put these videos out not knowing sometimes they might have a different reaction than what they think, and that backlash might cause them to hurt themselves or not get that reaction. So I try to be very sensitive to people's feelings,
Yeah.
most definitely at all times.
And that's good, because and this not to say on the comedy side, it's just in general. I think
Hmm.
some people think they're helping, but they're doing more hurting when they're
Right.
criticizing individuals, just because, hey, so you're being vulnerable when you're putting things out.
That's true.
And then on the flip side, you may be putting out there not thinking anything of it, but everyone's reaction is totally against the opposite of what's taking place. So it really takes strength just to post anything. And when
Hmm.
you post it, you hoping that it will snag or take, or you just say, hey, it's in the wind. Wherever it blows,
Right.
it lands.
You right.
And for you to be a comedian to really think about that, that's very important, because
Hmm.
quite, I wouldn't say younger generation,
Hmm.
younger, you know, they really go for the gusto, you
They go
know.
for it.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, we know Michelle said when they go high, you know, when they go low, we go high. Some people go
Hmm.
to the bottom of hell, you
They
know.
go and don't come back. You hear
And
me?
look, they don't even, they put the word and say, God, I got this, vengeance is mine, but it's yours. But today, you know, they don't really
You
live by
got
that
it.
creed and don't know how sometimes that can counteract, right, to your future endeavors, knowing that it's out there, it's always out there. A few seconds could ruin your life, you know. So
Hmm.
just being that comedian, just realizing that, hey, people do have feelings and
Yeah.
we can laugh, but not at someone downfall or even uprising, because sometimes we could take it and twist it, and some people could
Hmm.
take that information and go with it, you know. Now, doing laughter and everything, how do you put your, like, how do you come up with doing your comedy? As you say, you do your reactions, you just go out the gust, or, you know, how do you plan, how do you prepare for this? Because even people who are stand-up comedian and just the easy flow, and I know after time, right,
Hmm.
but it's always great to see, like, what is the strategy behind what you're doing, and knowing that you could make people laugh for like an hour and a half without looking at a cue card. And then granted, we're looking at you, so we don't know what you're
Right.
looking at or what's in front of you. So how do
Hmm.
you strategize your comics so that you know, okay, this will go, how this will flow, or you just let it flow?
I just let it flow. I'm gonna tell you, I shoot from the hip. And I tell
Mhm.
you, if the best comedian to me, if you can't make fun of yourself, you ain't funny. Cause I tell people before I get started, for y'all say anything smart, I've been praying for my edges for years, right? So if you can, I'm telling you to talk about me the same way I'm talking about you. But some people can't take the joke back, but they can dish it out, right? So me, I just shoot from the hip. I usually go from, I put myself in that place of what am I doing? What I think is funny if they was talking about me. And
Yeah.
so that's why I say to people, you know what I'm saying? If you can't talk about yourself, you ain't funny. Cause
Wow.
there's something about you that really is funny. Because I'm telling you, I've been praying for my edges for years. I don't know if Jesus is busy. I know he got other stuff to do. But he could have just gave me a little bit of more of a swoop here. But I ain't got it yet. But I ain't giving up on God. But he also might be like, look, you on here telling these jokes and acting the fool,
Yeah.
you might want to sit down. But no, for real, I just shoot from the hip. I see a video, if it's sent to me, I like it. I instantly I react to it. I don't write a script or anything. I just react. I just
Mhm.
live react to it, whether it's singing, whether it's dancing or whatever I do, it just comes natural. And if you do it that way, it's more authentic, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't have to try to copy anybody. I'm being me.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing about me doing what I do. Most definitely.
Yeah. Because I always wonder. So, you know, even, you know, people get up and it's just that gift, you know, you're able just to regurgitate and really, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just the flow, because on the outside in, it's like, how are they able to keep going like this? How are they able to take a joke when you don't have a booklet, right? There's no
Mm-hmm.
curriculum for you to follow through. So it's like, how do you continue to keep going and the following? Now, do you find yourself, is it easier for you, or when I say easier for lack of wording, right,
Mm-hmm.
do you find it easier to do the reaction, or a mixture of reaction and, when I say reaction, mean that, you know, being on social media or
Mm-hmm.
stand up comic? What do you prefer, or is just a mixture of both?
I think I prefer the reaction. I mean, I've done stand up before.
Mhm.
Um, that's a whole different ball game. Now that you do write for, some people don't. Some people will tell you they don't do it. But with reaction, you don't have to write for it because one, your script is right in front of you. You have a video. You know, you find the things that you feel other people will think are funny. You outline it, and there's your joke. There's your niche. You got everybody's laughing, and now they're finding other things that you didn't see and put it in your comments, and that is your engagement. It's all a part of how you deliver it. And so I think the reactions are easier than stand up.
Mhm.
Kudos to people still doing stand up because you gotta make sure you prefer every night something different,
Mhm.
something that's going on in the world, something that makes them laugh. But the most best joke that you could ever do is to relate to yourself or someone else.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's good to hear, because I just be wondering, like, okay, now that social media is at our hand, you know,
Mm-hmm.
do people go out and still do the stand up?
Oh
Because
yeah.
of course, obvious, it requires more, because, you know, you have to travel, you have to get
Mm-hmm.
your mind right, you know, you have to be prepared to take the actual, when you're
Mhm.
doing it on social media, hey, you laugh and keep it going. Whoever sees
Right.
it, they laugh, they laugh. If they go, it's not so much direct in front of your face. Now, was there like a time where you thought about, hey, uh this not it? Have you ever had like a downtime, or like, how we have doubts, right? We have
Hmm.
doubts where things just go wrong. Have that ever came to you as being a comic? Is this going to take me further, or is this going to lead me here? Because many people wonder, like, okay, they start off, and I believe there's a plethora of funny people out there,
Hmm.
but some people just don't trust themselves.
Right.
They're not ready for the black backlash. And when I say backlash, meaning that people may not laugh. What you think is funny
Right.
may not think is funny. Somebody
Right.
else may not think that. So, were there ever a time that Jackie felt a doubt in herself that this may not be it, or how did you overcome that?
Oh no, because like I said, I've been in class clown since I was 5, and I've been doing this. So whether you laugh or not, I'm gonna laugh.
Right.
Um, and that's why I talk to you about the strength. You got to find that strength within you, and
Mhm.
know that no matter what you put out, that's your brand.
Mhm.
You are your brand. So if no one laughs, okay, so they didn't laugh. Nobody liked it. Do another one, and then there's more laughter there, and then you just keep going because if one time you fail and you stop, Joy wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't want be the talk host that you are because you did not give up. Yeah, you probably like, I'm done with it. Ain't nobody finna listen to my show. But look at you now. You syndicated. You nominated for stuff. You are doing some good stuff. But
Mhm.
if you decided to let that other part of you over here tell you to give up, you wouldn't be sitting here looking as beautiful as you are, talking to the many guests that you inspire and give a platform to tell their craft because you did not give up. And that alone comes from faith. And it just shows. And you have it because we just spoke about it.
Amen. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So, after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest, Jackie. I'm so excited, so elated. It's just great conversation. Please make sure that you do leave your comments below, or if you would like to reach out, her information will be below so that you can reach out if you are someone who desires to be a comic or furthermore. So, after these messages, we're going to continue to talk to my guest, Jackie. Have officially stepped into the second quarter of the year, and this is our moment to refocus, recharge, and recommit. So you too could join Coffee with Joy show and get in your welcome back to Coffee with Joy. I'm gonna bring my guest back on. Hey, Jackie, welcome back to
Oh,
Coffee with
we
Joy.
back.
Yes,
Okay, now.
yes,
Come
yes.
on. Let's do it, girl. Come on, Joy. Show out now.
Such a great conversation before we went on break. Now, what would you say to a young lady who's inspired to be a comedian? And probably just starting off knowing that we're not, if I could say, King's Comedy, where
Mm-hmm.
social media wasn't so vibrant. Like, you had to leave the house, you had to go
Mm-hmm.
out. You really had to venture out. There was no COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a young lady today who, there's so many avenues, but just don't know which road to get on? What would you tell that young lady, whether they're in their teenager or 30s, 40s? Because there's no age on when you want to do this, but that doubt, that fear still jumps in.
Yeah, I'm with you because I'm a cougar, okay? I'm about to be
Yes,
50.
Cougar.
But I would just tell them, especially if we didn't have social media, we have to go back old school. Take the leap. There
Mhm.
are clubs in every city that has what is called stand up. When you
Mhm.
can get up there for free, they give you 5 minutes to do your jokes and do it. You just get that courage. You go up there, and if you get one laugh, go back the next day and get another laugh, and then you just keep going because like I said, we need more women in this industry because all we know, all we see is the top ones from some more. We got the Moniques, we have, those are the ones we know a lot about, but let's get more because
Yeah.
there are not a new female comedians that are funny as hey, I tell you, they are hilarious, and they need that platform, they need our support, and the best people to support a black woman or any woman in general is us.
Yeah.
It starts with us. If we always hate, we ain't gonna get no support.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I support anybody. If it's comedy, people reach out to me all the time with those videos that you see me do
Mhm.
that's funny. Those content creators reach out and ask me, can I do it? Right? And
Yeah.
I do it because that's support. Ain't about no money. It's
Yeah.
not about nothing like that. It's what I enjoy doing.
Mhm.
That is just what I enjoy doing because I have a job.
Yeah.
that pays my bills.
Yeah.
But this fulfills my soul and makes me that I bring joy to somebody. Because somebody might be having a bad day and they see my video and laugh. That made me feel better. Most
Amen.
definitely.
That is definitely need to read, even though people say it, but that's just great to regurgitate because
Mm-hmm.
just to keep going, just to find your footing, and it's almost like going to, what's that, a Kentucky Derby where they put the blinders on the horse. You just
That's
have to
right.
stay focused because I know our eyes get wonder and then we start to question God. Why are they doing that? If you're not strong in your faith, you start
Mm-hmm.
to question God, assuming that you both are doing the same thing. Just because it's both red, that don't mean you guys are the same color.
That's right. You're right.
You have
Mm-hmm.
to understand that everybody's calling is different. And I remember telling one of my friends that as much as Beyonce's big, but everybody don't know Beyonce. This
That's
earth
correct.
doesn't know Beyonce, believe it or not. I know
Mm-hmm.
that we assume, she probably have went all over, but I'm pretty much sure there's somewhere out there who probably living very Amish, who living off the grid, don't even know. Yes, we're in 2025. There are places around the world that are living off the grid and probably haven't heard, and not to shame Beyonce of any sort, but just to use an example where
Right.
God God knows everybody. Everybody knows
Everybody.
everybody. So you continue to keep going because it's not easy being a comic. I
It's not. It
it's
is not.
not easy. Have you ever
Mm-hmm.
seen where a comic has just felt defeated on stage? You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like really putting their best foot forward, but the crowd is just not laughing. How did you think that individual felt, or do you know someone who have gone through that?
Oh, yeah, I think I had a friend that went through that. She went out there, didn't like none of her jokes. They wouldn't laugh. You got the hecklers, you got the ones in the audience coming back at you, and she just stormed off the stage. But
Mm,
what I told her, I said, when they come at me, I'm gonna come at you because who got the best comeback is me.
yeah,
You're not gonna run me out of somewhere that I actually earned to be in.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay, and that's hard. So I tell people just have faith.
yeah,
Stop, put religion aside for a second, find more faith and get more faith in the God that you love, and
yeah,
all that everything else will fall in place. And
yeah.
if you walk out with that strength, there are stars that walk on stage are still nervous today when they
Mhm.
hit that stage, but once they get out there, they don't see nothing. When
Yeah.
I do something, if I still host, I just got better. I had hosting gigs and I couldn't do it because I couldn't walk. But when
Mhm.
I go host, I don't look at anybody. You might think I am, but I found one spot on the wall that I look at, and that's who I'm entertaining. I don't
Yeah,
care what you're doing. You could be laughing, but
yeah.
once you start to do that, everything else will fall in place. Don't
Mm,
ever run off a stage you earned, no
mm.
matter what the crowd is doing. You finish it. You
Yeah.
finish it, you succeed at it, and you own it.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
great to hear because I know I've never seen it happen, but I always wonder since you're in the arena, people, just that defeat, and sometimes they could push people into a corner if
Mhm.
if they're not strong enough or have people around them to keep them strong.
Mhm.
Because sometimes we can get defeated because we hype ourselves up, and then once we get in front of people, it's like, and that could be with anything, right? But definitely
Anything.
and then it's already bad enough where people try to compare you
Mhm.
unknowingly, right? Oh, I want
That's
you to be
right.
this person. I know if this person's good, you're gonna be good. And especially and then to add even more fuel to the fire,
Mhm.
you're going and like you said, if there's a Rolodex of people up and this person done bust a gut and this person's like, and you already having doubts, like, I'm not as funny as that. It's just so many variation because this is
It
a
really is.
industry where you can't just go in there and your total's 518. No, you go in there, you could have one good day, and the next day could be a total flop. You
That's
have
right.
to receive that. So I
Mhm.
know it's not easy. So it's always great to see, women, black women, standing up to the fight and just doing something that many are so used to seeing the male part doing, the male individuals doing. So now, what has been like your best show, your best since being in this industry? What has been your best show, your best time where you found like, yes, your spark has really put you on the top to keep going?
I tell you, when Snoop shared that one video and it got over 20 million views, right? I said, oh, I'm on to something. Okay. And I didn't even do nothing. I
Yeah,
was just singing a song.
yeah,
But the lady she was mainly the joke, but I just emphasized on it. And I said, I'm on to something. And then
mhm,
when I saw other stars start to share it, I was like, I'm on to something. Jackie, keep doing what you're doing. Because if I get one like, that's fine with me. If I
mhm,
don't get a like, that's fine with me because I'm gonna keep posting that because I'm not doing it uh um for people to follow me. I don't want followers. I
Yeah.
want engagement. I want
Yeah.
people I can communicate with. See,
Mhm.
other people they do it. I want followers. Like I want people to follow me. I want people that can engage with me, that
Mhm.
can talk to me, that I can see my craft and say, "Hey, Jack, can do this. Let's make it funny." Because I try to talk to as many people as I can because somebody might reach out to me that needs me to be funny because they might say, I'm going to take my life, and I had that happen.
Mm.
And she said, I wish you could do something on my birthday. So mostly on TikTok, I do mostly that. And I did the dance just for her, and I can barely dance. Okay, my two step, I got Dorothy knees, not Megan, but I did what I could do.
Yeah.
Listen, I ain't got Megan knees, I got Dorothy knees,
Denise.
and so, but I did it, and like I said, so we never know. And so when that happened, I felt like that was a huge push,
Yeah.
for me because he pushed the brand that I was been trying to push because. Before he pushed it on Instagram, I had 100 followers,
Mhm.
and when he did it, it got to 16,000, and then on Facebook, it got to 39. And I was like, wow. So I don't need to stop. And so now even without him, I'm getting those same million views
Yeah.
because now I'm owning it.
Yeah.
And if I had to give advice to anybody, you know how you go to a job, they say, make sure you get acclimated with what you're going to do, right?
Yeah.
Get acclimated with yourself
Yeah.
and what you want. And then
Mhm.
that will carry you through.
Wow, that's amazing. So, as we bring the show to a close, Jackie, what is something that keeps you going? We know working a full time job and doing our love,
Mm-hmm.
life is not going to stop life. But what keeps Jackie going in the midst of all what she
Oh,
does?
my mother, my faith, my family, just knowing that every day I get that call, that alarm clock goes off from God, I deserve another day. So let's keep laughing. Let's keep living. And like I said, if anybody knows me, they'll tell you, they call me mellow, but
Mhm.
they would tell you Jackie's so mellow. She don't get upset. She's always funny. And when they meet me in person, they be like, you funny in real life. It's not that I'm funny. I got Tourette's. I'm trying to think, y'all. I just be saying stuff.
Yeah.
It just come out funny. But that's what just keeps me going is my family, my faith.
Amen.
Um, and if you got that, ain't nothing else can touch you.
Amen. Yes. So, Jackie, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Joy. So elated. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
No,
And if
thank
you
you.
course. And if you'd love to be a guest on Coffee with Joy, please make sure that you follow our QR codes that's located here. And if you'd like to patronize our company, please make sure that you do so. Any amount will help with our company. And like I said, I had a surprise. I had something to tell you all. Well, Coffee with Joy has been nominated for the Trailblazer Award. And we look forward to receiving the award. That award will take place on October 18th, which is my birthday, believe it or not. So we're so excited that we have been nominated. So whoo, so God is doing great things. So like my guest Jackie stated, keep going, don't stop, no matter what. If life throw you a curveball, hey, pick it up and throw it back.
Mhm.
Keep going. So keep fighting. If you love to be a guest, please make sure that you email, DM, or follow us on our website. Please make sure you follow the QR codes. And as always, if it's a weekday or a weekend, it is Coffee with Joy. Until then, you all live life on purpose and see you all soon.